Hey, I'm Murs from Southern California. I started Pay Dues, the Independent Hip Hop Festival, about 7 years ago. There was only, 4 crews or labels to really choose from. And we were really a small scene. And now one of the biggest selling rappers, Mac Miller is an independent artist. And independent hip hop, Odd Future, like all Black Hippie, D1 from New Orleans. There's so many big names. And I think I was the first of the wave of indie artists that the mainstream tried to co-op. Like, they saw me selling 60,000 units on my own. They're like, we need him. They went after me, they went after Jean Grey, and now they're going after Kendrick Lamar, and they're going after Odd Future, and so now we've become, the internet has helped the independent scene become the new development ground. They don't do artist development like they used to. They let you blow up on your own, and they can kind of see, and then they'll take you. And a lot of times they're signing artists from the indie scene and just signing them to 360 deals. And like for me, the first album, they just let me coast on my own and kind of just, they wanted a part of my merch percentage. And I just signed a 360 deal so they couldn't get a part of my shows. But a lot of these artists that sign 360 deals, they don't do anything to build your brand. They just start trying to monetize everything you do and collect their percentage without trying to build your brand and take you to the next level. And if you happen to get a radio hit, then they'll take you. But you kind of got to still do everything on your own. So I think a lot of independent artists should beware. They're just looking at a way to stay relevant because now you don't really need them anymore. And they know that. And so they're trying to make you believe that you need them. And then when you get there, they never do the things that they said they would do, or they wait a long time. There's a lot of artists that are amazing that tell me, like, it was my dream to play on this stage. And that's crazy to me because it's just an idea that I had to help me and my friends out. And I saw it as a good thing for the culture because independent hip hop needs longevity and we need younger artists. And a lot of the older artists that were indie before me or underground, they were on mainstream labels, they didn't leave a lot of room or ever help me out. They never created anything that I could participate on. Even little things like features, they wouldn't do for me. They wouldn't help me get shows. They wouldn't, So I was interested in giving back because the better, this is my legacy. I'm proud of what I've done for independent hip hop, and I want Ab-Soul and Kendrick and Casey Veggies and D1 and all these kids, even if they don't feel like they're continuing my legacy, I want them to continue what I was doing. And like I continue, like I have had Q-Tip and Fife and Pete Rock and people premieres, like, thank you for continuing what we did. And the same thing, but I also want to provide them with a platform. Like, here's this vehicle, Pay Dues. It's not for me. I don't perform every year. People get mad at me, but it's for me to showcase for the younger kids and the older kids. It's just, so we have a place like Summer Jam where young kids can get into it. So now it's for the younger rappers, and it's for a place where kids, like I saw Warped Tour, and they have 14-year-olds coming out and being a part of punk rock. Underground hip hop was relegated to nightclubs. We take a poll, Facebook and Twitter, and we really tally every name that's on there. Some people like Noah James, Prototype, Curtis King have started their own, people start their own campaigns to be on. People get tattoos. And I'm still a fan. So I'm looking, and when I go to cities, I'll ask kids in Omaha, like, who do you want to see on Pay Dues? Well, I'm not going to be able to, but who would you want to see? And I just do my job, and I take it real seriously because it's not about me. It's not a vanity project. So I just listen. I put people on Pay Dues that I hate, that I can't stand their music, that I hate them as a person, or I don't like them. And I'll bring them back year after year because this is not about me. It's about what these kids want to see. Like, being the guy that my idols weren't to me, and I'm not trying to say I'm an idol to Kendrick Lamar, but he reached out to me on listen to my MySpace, and I listened, and I liked it, and I said, whatever you need. He said, can I have a feature? I said, cool, will you come out and do your song with me live at my show? Of course. Like, just staying involved. And so then, now that he's skyrocketed, I can still call him and say, do you want to do Pay Dues? And he's like, yeah, it's important to him. I think, same thing, I think it's important to Mac Miller. I think it's important. It's important to Lil B, the bass guy. He was honored to do it, and he's been to my shows before he was the bass guy, and he's a fan, and it's just, I think it's just about, I guess I'm open to the possibility of anybody being the next big thing. I don't listen to every CD I get, because about Pay Dues is you have to be paying your dues. I have to hear about you from someone other than your friends. I kind of have a thing where I have to see you live, because I don't like putting people that suck live on Pay Dues. It's not all about if you're popular, can you rock a show, because that was what was important before the internet. I opened for Busta Rhymes. I have this 15 minutes to make my connection with these people. There's no YouTube, there is no Napster, there's nothing. I gotta sell it with my performance. And I like kids who can still sell it and make fans out of people just from, you know, like when I had Tech Nine, to me, was the best performer, period, in music right now. And everyone there had never heard of him or didn't like him, but everyone I talked to respected the show. We had Dog Pound one year and they were like, huh. But I saw Corrupt perform and I was like, I gotta have this. I gotta have this at Pay Dues, and people bashed me for it, but afterwards everyone was like, they put on a hell of a show. And that's all I care. If you don't like the bass guy, people didn't like him, but everyone that saw the show was like, he put on a show. And that's, to me, that's super important. Creativity is alive, it's a spirit, it's an energy, it's a muse, and it's sitting with us right now. And it made it here. You know, a lot of people thought it wouldn't make it until Dr. Dre came back, but it's making it without it, you know. And I also think that, you know, people that overlook like is like Will.i.am, like he's like one of the biggest producers, and him and Tyler may not be the same, but they're very similar, and I was very similar to Will, and I got that a lot growing up, where something about LA, there's so many polar opposites that it creates these dynamic individuals, and Will is definitely a dynamic individual, and I think I'm a definite individual, and Tyler is definitely an individual, Kendrick is definitely an individual. I think Will, like, he's part of the biggest rap group, biggest group in the world, and he's from the projects, East LA, and no one considers him West Coast. That's kind of like Tyler, like people don't really consider him a West Coast artist. You know, I think it's a similar energy where he grew up around the same things we grew up around, and I was like, fuck this, I'm me. Pay Dues, same thing. A lot of people try to get me to open it up, and I'm like, no, this is for independent artists. And I try to stick to, like, this is my vision, and Kendrick sticks to his vision. Everyone, there's a lot. Little Beat definitely is like, you know, and I think that's, I think it's beautiful. I can't explain it. The world is mine means it's a lot of responsibility. It means that anything is possible. You're in control of your destiny, but it also means you have a responsibility to make it better. Like, I took it as a responsibility to make it better for the generation of hip hop behind me. But outside of that, I work with orphans. My wife and I are working on adopting. I volunteer because this is our children's earth, and their children's children's, it's our grandchildren's earth. And so the world is mine. There's a lot of ways I believe it belongs to them. If it's mine, then I give it to them, and I'm gonna take care of it like it's such. And that's how I take care of the game and the culture as well. It's like, this is something that has to be passed along. It has to survive, and not only survive, it has to thrive, and we have to thrive as human beings. So that, as the world is mine, means that I have a lot of work to do. What up, though? This is Murs, giving a shout out to LAstereo.tv. Peace.